1 seed in the East Regional. The other HBCU school in the NCAA tournament is Grambling. The Tigers played Montana State today in a Midwest Regional play-in game in Dayton, 3:40 p.m. tip-off on True TV. It's a special day for Grambling and their alumni around the country. This is the first NCAA tournament game for Grambling in school history. The Clippers are back in action tonight at Portland. The Lakers are off until Friday's home game against Philadelphia. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
All I need is one mic.
Reparations Now has been a rallying cry in this country and around the world for decades. But the demand has taken on new urgency with growing momentum on the issue led by the state of California, which has completed an extensive study and put forth recommendations to enact reparations. California's reparations actions have huge nationwide implications. The California Task Force was the first of its kind in the nation, and the states of New York and Colorado recently voted to take on the issue. Dozens of cities from coast to coast, including San Francisco, Boston, Los Angeles, and Detroit, have started their own reparations commissions. One of the first known reparationists was Callie House, who toured the nation advocating for reparations in the 1890s. But never in this nation's history has the movement to heal the harms of enslavement, institutionalized racism, and the system of white supremacy seemed so strong. The topic remains untouchable for most elected officials, and the call for reparations has not yet garnered widespread public support. Polling shows that most Californians agree that black fellow citizens are still suffering from the damage done by slavery and Jim Crow, but they still do not support cash reparations. The California Legislative Black Caucus has introduced a package of proposals for bills that do not include 1 penny of cash compensation, restitution, or repair. Governor Newsom and other lawmakers have distanced themselves from the concept of cash payments. While Newsom is right, cash alone will not repair our collective harm, the state's goofy legislative package ignoring monetary payments is disingenuous. California lawmakers need to step up and put a reparations bill for cash payments on the table. The issue of how it is funded, the timeline, or whether it impacts our current budget challenges can be addressed. But we must strike while the iron is hot, or the window of opportunity will pass us by. If you agree that it's time for our lawmakers to add a bill enacting cash payments to their lineup, call them at 916-319-3868 and say, if it doesn't include cash, it ain't reparations. That's 916-319-3868. Tell him Callie House sent you. From Bruce's Beach to the California Task Force, the Golden State is a trailblazer when it comes to reparations. The world is watching. We must rise to the historical moment and set a precedent for cash payments along with legislative remedies and policies addressing the systemic badges of slavery and Jim Crow. We must insist on measures significant enough to help close the racial wealth gap. California must stand for cash, and the time for reparations is now. For KBLA Talk 1580, I'm Dominique DiPrima. We welcome your comments.
I jump up on the stage and do my money dance. I throw some money up and watch the money land. I do my money dance. I do my money dance. I jump up on the stage and do my money dance. I throw some money up and watch the money land. I do my money dance. I do my money dance. I jump up on the stage and do.
Welcome to Wealth Building Wednesdays, where we center Black, women, and BIPOC-owned businesses, highlight opportunities and initiatives for underrepresented entrepreneurs, and center socially innovative enterprises, building generational prosperity, fostering real networking, and recycling Black dollars. It's Wealth Building Wednesdays on KBLA Talk 1580.
And I'm so happy. It's rare that we get one of our Wealth Building Wednesday businesses live in the studio so you can see and meet them on YouTube. But that's what we got going on today. This business focuses on fashion and accessories. The owner and operator, born in Illinois but raised in L.A. She's been in business since 2016. The business is called Bedazzled. Bernice Hines, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming in. It's nice to meet you. And it's nice to meet you too, Devani. I understand you're an important part of the business. We'll get to that later. So tell me how you do fashion and accessories.
Yes.
And you do a lot of the time you're vending here in Leimert Park, Africatown, USA.
Absolutely. Saturdays, Sundays.
And tell me how you got into this business. What made you decide, you know what, I'm going to get into fashion and accessories. I'm going to start selling.
It kind of happened. I've always been very creative in making things. So I started making greeting cards and I sold them at my job, and they sold out. And so I'm like, you know what, this is something I'm going to get into. So then I started with the cards. I did really good. Then they was like, well, you should make baskets. I'm like, baskets? Let me look around and see. So I looked at the competition in LA. I was driving around, people were selling baskets out their trunk at that time, so I was like, you know what? I can make some better baskets. And I did, and I sold out $2,000, $3,000 Mother's Day, Easter, I make all those kind of baskets. And then once the pandemic hit, I was still working my regular job. And then I used my pandemic money to expand the business.
Oh, smart.
Everybody would always compliment me on my glasses, and they would buy them off my face all the time. Like, oh, I love your glasses. Oh, I love your glasses. And I was like, well, maybe I should shift and get into the glasses business. And it just worked out so well. And so I started selling glasses. I got a vendor, started selling the best glasses in LA,
Look what great
trendy
manners your child has. Yes, Devani, you had a point you wanted to make?
Shout out to Brenda Hines.
You mean mom? Oh, nice job. Good job. I told you that was your manager.
She is.
But she actually works with you she helps
does.
out with the family business.
She does. She's very good. She helps me set the tables up, and she tells customers the prices. And, of course, they love kid entrepreneurs. So she definitely makes the business thrive for sure.
So the baskets, the glasses, and it's funny because so many of the great businesses and business owners that I meet, it does start as sort of a little thing that they did that everyone was asking them to do. Not really a business, more of a hobby or something.
Yeah.
And then people keep bothering them about it until they finally make it into a business.
Over and over, because I was just kind of working and, I wasn't really. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start a business because maybe I can have some, income for my family that I generate, my generation.
So is this your full-time thing now?
This I want it to be full time.
Okay, you're moving in that direction.
Yes, I'm moving in that
so
direction.
So you're one of these folks that has multiple streams of income, which is called life in LA for the most part.
Absolutely.
So we can find you Saturday and Sunday where?
In Leimert Park. I'm usually there from 12 to 5.
Okay. Do you do online ordering? Do you do any other kind of, vending besides the Leimert Park Village?
Yes, I get around to different pop-ups, just depending on, I have a lot of people that invited me to different pop-ups. So if I did taste the Inglewood.
Okay, nice.
I did taste the Soul. So Juneteenth in Leimert.
Okay.
Yeah, I usually get invited to different, the model experience is my favorite. It's a fashion show. Runway.
Okay, right.
I have a fashion show coming up Friday, so I will have it's Shop Musa online for LA Fashion Week. So on Friday, I will be at Pico Studios for the fashion show.
Shop Musa online?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what we look it up under?
Yes, Shop, SHOP, Musa, MUSA online. And they're connected with Revive LA.
Now, as far as you, are you on Instagram? Yes, Devani?
I'm saying over there.
Oh, she's saying hi to the folks in the YouTube chat. Y'all are blessed. You see that? You're getting some attention from the manager here. Yeah, so do you have an IG? Do you have a website? Like, how do we track you?
Yes, I'm on Instagram at Bredazzled1, BREDAZZLED1. And on TikTok, it's Bredazzled Fashion. And I do have a website. It's www.bredazzled1.com. So you can shop online.
Consistent.
Guys.
That's awesome. Okay, so glasses, jewelry. The glasses are like the bedazzled glasses?
They're fancy glasses. They're runway show glasses.
Fancy
yes, they
glasses.
are very trendy style glasses. So
okay.
you know, can create your own style, but they're like big, flashy glasses. So if you like to be in style with the new trends, that's what I provide.
Okay, so, and then, of course, jewelry.
Yes.
Is that
necklaces?
Oh, that's so pretty.
This is the white quartz, and this is the organite. It has all the 7 stones in there.
Oh, lovely.
I love my bracelets, of course.
Okay, so glasses, jewelry, baskets. Are we missing anything?
Waist beads.
Waist beads, wildly popular now.
Yes, I started that maybe in 2020 as well, the waist beads.
Okay, so we can follow you on IG. We can go to your website, bredazzled1.com. Is it the number 1 or ONE?
The number 1.
Number 1, bredazzled1.com. Can we order off of IG or the website?
You can.
So order on IG or come to Leimert Park Village, Africatown, USA. Tons of vendors on the weekend.
Tons of vendors representing the African Village Vendors Association over there. I am the secretary. So you guys need to come out and support the community, and we have amazing things for you guys in the community. So.
Wow, it's really nice to meet you, and it's really nice to meet you too, Devani. A great job helping out with the business. I feel like, you're not only, you have a job, you have a business, and you're stepping up as part of that Africatown, Vendors Association. That's amazing. And I just want to congratulate you for doing that. And I think it's safe to say your business is Black owned and operated.
It is Black owned and operated. 100%.
All right. So let's, let whether you're shopping for a birthday or whatever it might be. Do you custom make anything? Like if I called you and I said I need, 25 pairs of fancy glasses for an event, could you do that?
Of course. I do custom orders. You can contact me and we can definitely work that out if you need waist bead, glasses, bracelets. I got you covered.
All right. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Bernice Hines and manager Devani. And we hope that all of us will step up and shop a little bit with the Leimert Park Africatown vendors, and specifically with Bredazzled One.
Bredazzled.
Perfect time to call me, 800-920-1580. We're taking it national, international, and beyond next on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Climate is king.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough.
Tax Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. This tax season, you get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a Samsung Galaxy A14 included when you buy an extended Silver Unlimited plan. So you can give your janky phone to your kid. Yeah!
Switch to Straight Talk. Find us at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com. Device offer ends 4/14/24. Taxes and fees apply.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey, I have a secret. I use Secret Whole Body Deodorant because more than just my armpits stink.
Oh, can I use it where my bra rubs under my...
Oh, yeah.
And what about down there? You know, my...
Totally. 4 out of 5 gynecologists would recommend it. So I tried it, and now I get 72 hours of freshness from my pits to my...
Ooh, I love that it's a spray.
Me too. And it comes in sticks and creams, too. Go get your Secret Whole Body Deodorant.
On your period, sudden gushes happen without warning. But now, you can say goodbye to stand-up gush fears, thanks to Always Ultra Thins with rapid dry technology. It absorbs gushes 2 times faster than the leading store brand and gives you up to 100% leak-free protection. Hello, clean and comfortable with Always Fear No Gush.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
It does, and it's a perfect time to call me, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. So I have a friend who is in the entertainment industry, and we often talk politics. She has a different spin many times than I do, but I think it's very in depth and creative, and honestly has a lot of focuses on a lot of issues that I don't always pay enough attention to. So I wanted to invite her in to the space to talk with us, and of course you're still invited to join in 800-920-1580. As well, something different to do on this Wealth Building Wednesday. Welcome, LT.
Hey, what's up? You know what?
What?
You told me, you forgot to tell me you had the theme today of Wealth Building Wednesday.
Oh, sorry. See how we take our friends for granted?
we can parlay off of that, off of your daily theme as to what to talk about. It's got to do, wealth building has to do with all the conflicts in the world. Right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're always drawing a straight line. LT is someone who really tracks, for example, Ukraine, the war in Ukraine and the Russian invasion there, and how not just, do we send the money or do we not send the money or what's going on with weaponry, but how it impacts the global economy.
Yeah. I guess the thing that everybody wants to know everywhere around the world is, why does everything cost so much now, right?
Yeah.
Whether they're the small businesses or people. So, and what's so funny today is, right when I got up and got my tea before I called in, I like to pop over to a news aggregate site called Naked Capitalism. And they just aggregate, news stories from different sources. They point out different kinds of views about what, and they have a commentary because they have a well-moderated comment section that can hilariously tear down some of the takes you might normally have on some of the mainstream news. But, anyway, today I popped on there, and it should especially be of interest to small business people like the one you just interviewed. Private equity is buying up accounting practices. What could go wrong? The health industry gives some ideas. So you look at this trend of private equity, getting into healthcare, how all of our healthcare prices have gone up. Private equity started buying up electricians and plumbers businesses. They've started doing that. They started buying up barbershops and beauty salons too now. So now we hear they're buying up accounting practices. And we wonder why, when we hear the Fed and the economists come on and talk about services, when you talk about services inflation as opposed to goods inflation, services includes things like your health care, your health insurance, loans, county, services, education. All of that is part of the services economy, where the inflation tends to be stickier. And lo and behold, nobody's ever say, oh, why doesn't anybody talk about how private equity's entry into all of these service areas seems to correlate to all these high prices?
So you're saying because private equity is buying into the everyday services, they can price gouge?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Here.
I mean, I do think that one of the things that's under-discussed when we talk about inflation is how these big corporations are squeezing people in ways that they don't have to.
And small businesses.
Yeah. Oh, you believe the small businesses are also price gouging?
Or also being price gouged.
Oh, okay. So you're saying squeezing the consumer and the small businessman or woman. Yeah.
The
person. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. But okay. So, this is why I have to have some friends that are smarter than me. LT, I don't understand. I'm not connecting the dots. When you say private equity is buying up accounting, are you saying that they will then control their practices and how they track what these private equity firms are doing?
Yeah. Look at how, the article, like, for instance, that I'm looking at right now that says, because you're asking me, how can that go? Basically, you're saying, like, well, what could go, what's wrong with that? Private equity.
I mean, it's on a gut level, it seems bad, but I'm just trying to connect the dots in a real, in a real practical sort of operational way.
Well, they have money to burn, and they roll up all the smaller accounting firms, and they can get more revenue profits from the big ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, look at what has happened with medicine, patient unfriendly, care degrading, so mostly, it's you're paying more for less, basically.
Yeah.
So that they can have bigger profit margins.
What our current president calls shrinkflation.
Because they're using leverage to buy up debt to use up, so they got to have a good profit margin, right? Because
right.
They're getting.
Well, they don't have to, but they demand. They demand it. The shareholders demand it, right?
They're getting. Some of them are into. Yeah. So then it starts to affect industry in all kinds of ways. They're saying, because, now you have people that are going into medical school, but they're looking at medical school now as a stepping stone to getting to more administrative areas, not care areas. Because that's where the money is. And you see it everywhere. You can kind of tell when they get it and educate. Whenever you see an industry and the administrators start to industry-wide, and the administrators start to outnumber the actual service providers or people actually on the front lines of the service of whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
kind of a sign that,
I feel like we're seeing that in college, too, where you get more and more consultants and high-paid administrators. And now the cost of educating a child in this country, at the college level has just become unreachable for a lot of folks. I want to bring in one of our regular KBLA delegates, Big Phil. Big Phil, you're on with LT and me. Good morning.
Good morning. Definitely right this morning. How you doing, Dominique? Everybody's good down there?
Yeah, so far so good.
Well, so you know what? First of all, Dr. Dre got a star yesterday, and I think the brother get back to the community. And I even think Snoop Dogg get back to the community. What I don't like what Snoop Dogg continue to do, he sat back there in the back throwing up signs, asked one kid what it was. He said he's representing Long Beach, didn't get into a gangster stand. I don't like that. He's too old for that. I'd set an example for the kids in the community, okay? Period. I really don't like that. And I like Kendrick Lamar. I like my little nephew at the station here, Miles, and Chance the Rapper. Give them something positive like that. I mean, you're 52 years old. You throwing them signs in there. I mean, come on now. Enough is enough. But you guys take care. I love you. And be out at the station, okay? Big Phil, I'm out.
All right, appreciate you, Big Phil. So he's talking about Dre getting that star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Dre's already built his wealth, so I guess he can sit back and get stars and, get the accolades. I mean, he's...
Oh, he's talking about Dr. Dre?
Yeah, he's talking about Dr. Dre. He got his star on the walk. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was talking about Snoop over there throwing up the gang signs. I didn't see that. I don't know. Do people get too old to throw up gang signs? Do they get too old to sag their pants? I would argue yes, but I think it's a personal choice.
It's just a reflex too at this point. He might not even realize he was doing it.
But what about that? I mean, that star. I think a lot of it is hype. I know people pay for those stars. They have campaigns and they have to raise the money to pay for the ceremony and all of that. But still, it's an international honor, right? And again, these things build your brand, which do help in some ways build your wealth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you get one?
Well,
LT, would you ever get a star on the Walk of Fame? Tavis has one. I don't know.
Very seldom. I think it's kind of considered, isn't it kind of considered declassé to pay for your own star?
Well, no, but every single person.
It kind of looks, you kind of have to make it look like somebody's doing it for,
Yeah, but everybody's agent went out and raised the money for that star, right? I mean, they might not be paying it.
You act surprised.
Right, exactly. Everybody's agent called all the people that are up there honoring them, right? Remember when Steve Harvey got his star, he was kind enough to invite me, Nautica De La Cruz, and of course Shirley Strawberry still works with him because we taught him radio. We helped teach him radio. He had never done it before when me and Nautica and Shirley were the sidekicks. So that was kind. He gave us a front row seat. But, Ellen was there, and it's just so much hype. When Tupac got his star, I was happy because I loved him getting that recognition. But a lot of it is, it's Hollywood.
Oh, yeah. Before I worked from home, I was working in Hollywood, not far from there. So, yeah, we see a lot of those ceremonies going down if you're walking on your lunch break somewhere or whatever.
I don't know that anyone's ever going to offer me a star. I certainly don't expect my agent to raise money for one. But, I guess there's something to be said about having your mark there in Hollywood forever and ever.
Yeah.
Big congrats.
Yeah.
Big congrats going out to Dr. Dre. Talking with LT, and she's a friend I've been trying to convince to get on here and share a few thoughts for quite some time, but you're welcome in the conversation as well. I would love, love, love to hear from you. We are unapologetically progressive, KBLA, Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to gear with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Efforts to get U.S. citizens out of Haiti will continue today, with at least one state official in Florida saying there is reason for optimism. 2 rescue flights were supposed to leave yesterday, but the plans fell through. Florida Division of Emergency Management Director Kevin Guthrie says they were close, but the situation on the ground is extremely volatile, with gang violence having plunged the Caribbean nation into chaos. You can have all of your champagne wishes and caviar dreams come true if you win big tonight. With unwon grand prize jackpots, tonight's Powerball drawing is up to $687 million. And no one won the grand prize in Tuesday night's Mega Millions lottery, which means that for Friday night, a lucky ticket could cash in on $977 million. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Why settle for ordinary when you can have extraordinary hair? Visit your local SoCal FS Cut and Color salon today and let their team of expert stylists pamper you with affordable luxury. Get a free shampoo with every cut, Book your appointment today at fantasticsands.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
A tough day for alumni at Howard University. The Howard men's basketball team lost to Wagner by 3 in Tuesday's play-in game in the NCAA tournament in Dayton, Ohio. Howard had 3 attempts to knock down a game-tying three-pointer in the final 10 seconds, but missed all 3 shots. Howard ends the season at 18-17. Wagner moves on to play North Carolina Thursday in Charlotte. North Carolina is the #1 seed in the East Regional. The other HBCU school in the NCAA tournament is Grambling. The Tigers play Montana State today in a Midwest Regional play-in game in Dayton, 3:40 p.m. tip-off on True TV. It's a special day for Grambling and their alumni around the country. This is the first NCAA tournament game for Grambling in school history. The Clippers are back in action tonight at Portland. The Lakers are off until Friday's home game against Philadelphia. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
That was another way I would smoke once an hour. That didn't work either. All that would happen at some point of the day, I would end up doubling up. Other ways that I tried to quit was I stopped buying cigarettes totally. But if I took 3 puffs off of 15 friends, those didn't count because they weren't my cigarettes and they weren't full cigarettes. I went through a lot.
Every attempt is part of your story to quit for good. Visit Kick It California today at kickitca.org.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate loses and love wins.
Yeah, we're talking with you at 800-920-1580, and my friend LT, who is in the entertainment industry, but is always looking at global affairs and the economy and how they interact. And I think, my opinion, sometimes as Black American activists, and specifically those of us who have the mic on the air, sometimes we don't talk enough about global affairs. I think Dr. Gerald Horne put that forth to me and said, you know what, we concede the space too much and it gets filled up by everybody else. And we need to be weighing in on these global issues, and even national issues, i.e. our economy, which is always linked to global movements and conflicts and trends. Is it not?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, when I was on hold playing was there was a message I think that you have on your station about what's going on with reparations.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, my editorial.
Talking about how this person in California, we're looking at what the U.S. government's going to have to pay. We ain't looked at what about Lloyd's of London and all of those insurers that in Europe that took part in slavery. They got all the money. It wasn't some kind of agreement between, it wasn't like there was some kind of agreement between slaves and a plantation owner. There was a whole global system involved. And we looking at, California as having them, a lot of that money, shipping companies, the global shipping companies, that profited. That's where the big money is.
Yeah, I mean,
you
I
couldn't
think
have had slavery without insurance.
right, and actually that's where we're finding a lot of records, right? Because we work quote unquote cargo and property, and insurers, are very meticulous in detailing property. But I think that's one of the reasons why when we talk about reparations, we're looking at city, county, state, federal, private, and institutional. Well, I mean that's a good point. Some of it is in literally in the crown, in the form of jewels, right?
Of various crowns.
Yeah, various crowns. But how do you? That is an interesting point, because even when we talk about corporate responsibility, and holding those profiteers of our enslavement accountable through reparations, it's rarely talked about in terms of international corporate profiteers.
There's never, just is. You have to first of all, that you have to hear that in some of the debates going on. You don't have, ever hear it coming out of the politicians' mouth. That they'll talk to you about it, but the reason why they'll engage you because they like engaging you about it to contain it, and it's almost like they like engage it. They're engaging in a way that contains your views.
But how do you hold a Lloyd's of London accountable? It's not a U.S. corporation.
Or a shipping company like that. Good question, huh?
Yeah.
That's a question, right?
Well, black people, we're going to come up with an answer. You ask the question, we will come up with an answer. I do think, because a lot of times when we talk about international reparations, we're saying, well, okay, the UK, who is it in here in the chat? Ben Frank saying the UK owes. Yes, they do. But we're always looking at, okay, Jamaica, they need to go to the British to get their reparations, right? Haiti, they need to go to the French because they paid reparations to the French for the loss of their property, i.e. people. And France needs to pay that back. But we don't really talk about what reparations does the UK or France or Portugal owe to African descendants of enslaved Africans in America. And I don't, I'm not quite sure how you get to that, but I certainly, I hope we can, some kind of way.
It sounds like, maybe Gerald Horne's been thinking about it some more.
That'd
be the place that would know how to go about that. Yeah. He's got some good stuff.
Next time he's on this show. They're still talking about the star in the YouTube chat. Cash Scholar says one of the problems with the Hollywood stars is that some so-called celebrities are being rewarded more for their popularity and commercial success rather than their artistic achievements. I don't think anyone ever said it was about artistic achievements. Maybe, I don't know. To me, it's all marketing and branding, I'd rather be like Kobe and get a statue.
Where's the statue again?
But I don't think I don't see that on the horizon for me.
Where is the statue?
Oh, by the crypto.com arena.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I haven't been there since.
With magic statue.
I haven't been there since they renamed it. That's the truth.
Yeah, I know. A lot of folks still call it Staples.
More than I do now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, same. Well, you threw out the issue of inflation. And I know that it's going to play a big role in this presidential election because people are blaming Joe Biden for high prices, even though by our normal measures, the economy is healthy and, in fact, very healthy under the Biden administration. And we just saw the last job reports, close to 300,000 jobs added. The crash that many economists were talking about, another big Great Recession or Depression coming up, and that hasn't materialized. We've had the so-called soft landing. And yet, I think this is, because everything still costs more. I mean, we could say all that, but when you go to the store, eggs are still more, rice is still more.
Well, when they say they tackled inflation, they didn't say prices. They're just saying they slowed the rate of prices rising. That's what they're meaning. They're not saying that they've stopped the rise of prices. They're saying they've slowed the rate of prices rising. That's what they're calling the victory.
Right, but voters, I mean, sadly, or maybe not sadly, practically, voters don't care because we're still paying more. So, and really, if you talk about inflation beyond corporate gouging, which I don't think we talk enough about, that's not really something that any president controls, right? I mean, those are global conversations. We've talked about the impact of the war on Ukraine on grain prices, for example, and natural gas prices. I don't.
Well, in general, what does the president of the United States? What's their other title? Commander-in-Chief. Okay, so I'd say that the executive branch, usually, in a time of war, they have the most direct, they're the most direct, responsible. But otherwise, the legislative branch doesn't make the laws. They have what's the one power that they do have that they come in, those are executive orders. They have.
You're talking about the
power,
president, yeah.
Those could be overthrown when the next president comes in. Other than that, what you're really talking about when you're talking about the price gouging you're talking about regulation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So who's in charge of that?
I mean, really, the agencies, that are part of the executive branch, right? And the Congress by the laws that they pass. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I'm looking at this article.
So how come we can never get, the people appointed to these agencies that aren't, did you ever, back in the 80s, a guy named Thomas Frank wrote a book called The Wrecking Crew. And it was about how during the Reagan administration, a lot of the people that were appointed to government agencies didn't believe in big government. So you're actually appointing people that believe in tearing down the very agencies they're appointed to.
Yeah. And we have that now. I mean, we saw that with the Tea Party. We see it with the Marjorie Taylor Greengos of the world. I feel like I'm always saying this. You say you don't like government, so why are you always trying to get government jobs to dismantle government, but still on a government paycheck? Right.
They have great benefits at those levels. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, but I guess I hadn't thought about how that did start back in the Reagan era, the no big government era. But here again, I was going with this article in Slate. The U.S. currently enjoys the highest rate of economic growth among nations in the G7, the lowest inflation, the strongest wage growth. The unemployment rate hasn't been this low for this long in 50 years. And even when you factor in inflation, wages are higher today than they were before the coronavirus pandemic. This represents a huge bounce back
Okay.
from
When they
the
talk
COVID
about,
era
okay, slow
that
down,
was
slow
not
down,
anticipated. Okay.
slow down.
It's
slow
not my
down
forte.
there.
Yeah.
Because when they say wages have increased for Americans, they talk about averages.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Uh,
Here's my, you know what I'm about
You're
to
going to tell
say.
your joke. Yeah, let's hear it.
Bill Gates, a homeless man, walk into a bar. The bartender says, "Wow, 2 billionaires on average."
Perfect way to let you think about that one. Get ready to call us, 800-920-1580. LT and Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. Visit jpmorganchase.com/racial equity and get the tools to help reach your financial goals.
Hey Californians, are you ready to make your home ownership dreams come true? The California Dream for All Shared Appreciation Loan Program might be for you. First-generation homebuyers can get down payment and closing cost assistance along with a first mortgage to help you unlock the door of your new home. Applications open in April, so talk to an approved lender to see if you're eligible. Find out more at calhfa.ca.gov/dream or call 877-922-5432. A message from the California Housing Finance Agency.
The thing no one tells you about periods is that your flow changes every day, and so should your tampon size. Tampax has 5 absorbencies to match your changing flow. If it hurts to remove, go down a size. If it leaks, go up a size. Only Tampax has a leak guard braid to help give you up to 100% leak and odor-free protection. All-day comfort and protection for under $5 a month. Based on average U.S. consumer usage at manufacturer suggested price. However, pricing is at the sole discretion of the retailer. Excludes 8-count.
Hey, what are you doing up on the step stool?
About to clean these light fixtures. The whole family's coming over, and if there's even a speck of dust in the house, my abuela will find it.
Here, I got a Swiffer duster to help with that.
A Swiffer what?
A Swiffer duster. It has this cool extendable handle that reaches 6 feet to get high and low, with fluffy dusters that easily trap and lock dust.
So no more step stool?
No more step stool.
Easily trap and lock dust from hard-to-reach places with the Swiffer duster. Love it or your money back.
Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win. Sometimes we try to fit it all in. Sometimes we don't know what's in store. Sometimes we find what we're looking for. Sometimes we're rolling easy and free. Sometimes 1 and 1 makes 3. So much to love along this ride. That's why Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Okay, so I love that joke, LT, and it's a great point. But even still, okay, Black unemployment rate right now is the lowest ever on record. Okay, lowest unemployment rate on record for workers with disabilities. Wage inequality has been dramatically reduced, which is not to say we're anywhere near where we should be, but you're talking about material, measurable, and dramatic bounce back from a disastrous pandemic. Why isn't the Biden administration getting credit for this? And why does it seem to be playing into the hands of, 45?
So, what you just said there, and why? Okay, so you haven't. So why are, when you have, they talk about rising interest rates and stuff, they say, well, if everything is okay, so why do we still have people in, I guess what we call the financial press? Some people have different views. Why do you still have a lot of voices saying, ooh, everything? So, then we can have interest rate cuts. Interest rate cuts are a tool to use to fight when something is going wrong.
Yeah.
So
and right now we're on track.
Yeah, so why do they keep predicting or even calling for more interest rate cuts towards the end of the year. First they were saying it was going to be in March. It's all kinds of reasons in trading that they're doing that with the narrative. But think about it. So it's so great. Then actually, if that's the case, then we can get everything as great as you say it is. Then we should actually be able to raise interest rates to a level where they have been. This shouldn't be a problem. Interest rates if everything was great, interest rates where they are should not be a problem.
Yeah. Well, it's not me saying it. I mean, I'm looking at the
Exactly.
data. Right. It's not me saying it.
Yeah, and at the same point,
yeah.
they say, but even the slightest, another quarter point interest, what do they get? Let's put the quarter point, could cause something to break. Well, if everything's that fabulous, another quarter point rise in interest rates shouldn't cause nothing to break. Everything's fabulous.
So why do you suppose that we're having this conversation about interest rates constantly? It's an interesting point. Hadn't thought of that. That's why I love LT. I'm always like, I don't know. What about the talk on interest rates?
Because you still got a lot of that has to do with what's going on with the banks and what they're holding with commercial real estate. That whole thing that happened at the beginning of 2023 with the Silicon Valley Bank. Remember those?
Yeah, the bank failures. I mean, there was a real concern about a run on banks at that point.
Yeah, all of that. Yeah. Look how fast they fixed it.
With measures that have never been seen before, such as a government bailout of a private bank. 800-920-1580. It's not too late to call me. LT and me in conversation with you on KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007, they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA CAN believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Find a righteous rage and don't be afraid to say what you see. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
We are, and I'm talking to LT. She's a friend of mine, works in the entertainment industry, an opinionated friend, of course. That's my friend. And I love this conversation because you're getting a little window into, if we lift a glass of wine, the kind of things we're actually talking about, believe it or not, and how that convo goes, other than you would probably have to add in a little bit of cussing. And then And then you'd have a window into my Friday night. Let's go to Paul from L.A. Paul, you're on with LT.
Good morning, ladies. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Bless. How are you?
I have to call in. This is a great conversation right here, just in regards to bringing facts to the situation for, topics and issues that are concerning, obviously, to the community and the listeners. And I just wanted to kind of add my 2 cents to the situation, just in regards to why geopolitics and what goes on elsewhere really matters here. And, for example, there are, the media doesn't really explain things, I think, in a way that can, for people to understand how that directly impacts them and their homes and why we have. Because before anything else, this country always has its self-interest before anything else. And, for example, that when we're sending funds over to Ukraine, it's not we're just directly sending money over there. What we're sending them is essentially equipment, weapons that we've already had in stock here. So essentially some of our older equipment that we're not using. But the ripple effect of that is jobs are created because they need to hire workers to restock what was essentially sent out, which helps our economy here. So it has a ripple effect overall in a way that helps overall our GDP. And then 2, it's important to understand that if something happens to that situation and Russia pushes on, that can pull us into the war, which in turn will impact and pull American soldiers into it.
Yeah, well, we're already building
already
that so-called dock.
We're already at
Go
war
ahead.
with Russia. We're just using Ukraine as the proxy.
Yeah, so so you believe that that the war between Russia and Ukraine is really a proxy war between Russia and the United States?
Not the United States, but NATO and its allies.
Paul,
remember Paul? My older brother's name is Paul. You have to remember, the whole idea, with the whole war economy thing, manufacturing weapons builds up the U.S. economy. It don't work. It works still, but not like it used to when we had a bigger manufacturing base. So now we saw this during the beginning of COVID. All this stuff we needed medical supply-wise had to come from overseas.
Yeah, it's a great point. Well, we have eaten up the clock, LT. So you got like 30 seconds if you want to say anything, with a grand finale type vibe to it.
Grand finale, when you talk about the United States GDP, they're talking all that debt that you owe to the credit card company. Your debt is their asset. All that money you owe, they're counting as great GDP. And that's what happens in a hyper-financialized economy.
LT, thank you.
Whereas okay, so and I have to get.
I have to lure you into coming back. It took me 20 years to get you to do it this one time. We'll be talking with Marquel Bridges when we come forward about those sentences handed down to the so-called goon squad in Mississippi. We've got details from the boots on the ground. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Efforts to get U.S. citizens out of Haiti will continue today, with at least one state official in Florida saying there is reason for optimism. 2 rescue flights were supposed to leave yesterday, but the plans fell through. Florida Division of Emergency Management Director Kevin Guthrie says they were close, but the situation on the ground is extremely volatile, with gang violence having plunged the Caribbean nation into chaos. You can have all of your champagne wishes and caviar dreams come true if you win big tonight. With unwon grand prize jackpots, tonight's Powerball drawing is up to $687 million. And no one won the grand prize in Tuesday night's Mega Millions lottery, which means that for Friday night, a lucky ticket could cash in on